Good afternoon. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's local to North Alabama, which is our neck of the woods right there. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So we talked to Rob Patz, who's actually the owner of the station.
Yeah.
And he owns several stations all over the United States. And so I didn't get to talk to him, but Phil talked to him, and he said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I like the look. So anyway, and I think he was referring to your show when you were around. So we've got with us right now, I say this all the time, I embarrass him, his face is already about to turn red, the world's best mayor, and that's Chuck Abels, the mayor of Geraldine, Alabama. So good to have you on the show today.
Always great to be here. Enjoy getting to come on and talk about my favorite town.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got stuff going on around here.
Yeah, we do. We got some things happening. Talked to a lady this morning that's going to get our farmers market started this Saturday.
Oh, good.
And,
local food.
Yeah. And just got a lot of things going on. June 17th is going to be a big day for us. Community-wide yard sale to start the day off, and then 10 to 2 a car show at the park, and then starting at 3 picnic in the park with music by Wildwood and Average Joe, and have a lot of vendors there, food vendors and all kind of knickknacks and odds and ends and snacks and drinks and things. So looking forward to that here real shortly on June the 17th.
That's going to be a
Big
whole
day.
lot of fun. But I wanted to mention the farmer's market.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love the farmer's market? Okay. If you don't have time to have a garden and you want to eat local food,
Yeah,
and it's best for you, you know it's good stuff too.
absolutely. And she said, now, most of my garden stuff's not ready yet, but she said I've made lots of jams and jellies and salsa, and her kids bake cookies and things like that. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with what's available, and hopefully we can get some more vendors coming on Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. And
Now, what's the criteria? How do you get in?
okay, we've got a form for you to fill out, just to cover our bases. It has to be something you grow or make. She even talked about some people that have rooted some plants and some different kind
good idea.
things like that they may bring, but this needs to be locally grown, and we've got a form from the state farmers market just to fill out, just to cover some bases. But and again, this year it's no charge to the vendors. We just like having them come and be able to sell what they have, and but you can contact Town Hall at 256-659-2122, and we can get a form to you, or you could email me at mayor@townofgeraldineal.com, and I could email the form back to you. And again, it's no charge to do it. And, we've got a good shady, cool place to have it up at the park.
Nice view of the water too.
Close to the splash pad and pond and that kind of thing. We've talked about possibly moving it over to Highway 75. We've got some, obviously a lot more traffic, but we'd need some kind of cover and, to keep the sun off. So we're working on that. We may get to that this year at some point to get to move over here, especially if we can get some more vendors. And
yeah, it would be more visible.
Yeah,
but now I like the park too.
But Miss Moses that comes up there, I mean, she nearly always sells out up there, in 2 or 3 hours. And so I said, on 75 may not last but a few minutes of what she's got. But
so what's her first name?
Her name is Christina.
Okay.
Christina Moses. Yeah, and she's been with us since we started the farmers market, and
It's a family affair with them.
It
Kids
is.
are involved, and
She has.
that's a great thing to teach your kids.
She has 6 girls and 1 boy,
Oh wow!
and they're all involved. And usually, some of them will come with her, and but the girls bake cookies. As you might guess, the boy was the last one.
Yeah, I guess
he's just about 4 years old now, but has a daughter that works at Geraldine Drug Store, and Morgan that works there, but they're a great family, and just real good people, and we're glad to have them working with us and taking care of things. And she kind of runs things at the farmers market. If there's other vendors there, I mean, she, we never start until the announced time if somebody gets there early to set
She's
up.
organized then.
Yeah.
She knows what
Yeah,
she's
we're
doing.
not going to start until the advertised starting time to make sure all the vendors are there to give everybody an equal
fair.
chance. Yeah. But 10 a.m. on Saturdays, and we may, as it gets later in the year, may get to another day, possibly some on Wednesday, a little later when it gets more things available. But we've got another person that is real interested in. It's just she grows a lot of stuff. It's my friend Tia that I talk about nearly every time, that moved up here from Florida, and she's got lots of things, but she has another job and sometimes has a conflict being able to get there. But
because I'd do it if it didn't have this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great way to meet the public.
Yeah, we would love to have a master gardener like you.
I don't know how master I am, but that was fun, and I wanted to encourage everybody to do this. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this area anymore, but I think they're planning one next year in Gadsden.
Okay.
But it's worth it. It's worth going to this class. You'll learn so many things. A lot of things. My granddad was a farmer, my grandmother. And my other grandmother in Oxford, she had this huge garden in a very small amount of space and fed everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even the neighbors around, she'd give them cucumbers and tomatoes, but they knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And so things are coming back, finally.
Well, I applaud you for taking the master gardener class, and you've shared some of the things that you've learned in that, and I mean it's obviously just broaden your scope and learn new things, and we need to all keep learning. And
well, we're going to have some shows. I may bring you in the kitchen when it comes to some of this canning stuff.
Well,
I bet Catherine's going, yeah, take him in there. Let him learn how to can. I bet you already know how to can.
I'll help out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe you were needing a taste tester or something.
I would need a taste tester. Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, we got a lot of beans and stuff's going to be coming in.
Yeah.
And so many things, and you can do it too, but we'll have some shows about that, and as the summer progresses and things are getting, I'm using concrete blocks.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I mean, I'm not having to spend so much time weeding.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
That's real good.
Yeah, I don't like doing that part of the garden.
That's my least favorite thing about gardening.
I'm not into that.
No.
But the town of Geraldine is just, doing all kinds of good. And I wanted to mention to all you folks who are watching from all over the country, if you're thinking about a business and you'd like to expand, maybe your headquarters, we'll take everything. The headquarters, whatever we're right in the middle of all the big ones, all the big cities. So if you'd like your privacy and just air to breathe, good, clean country air.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like you say, with the other things that you need, we've got a almost new sewer system here, 4 or 5 years old. We've got gigabit speed internet.
Yeah, that's the big reason a lot of folks don't move in the country.
Yeah.
It's because they don't have decent internet service. Yeah. But here you got it. I'm running an old radio and TV station off of
absolutely. It's great. And, and we've got people that will work. It's good. And I know you beat on me a little bit and say, now, I know you're not telling me everything, and I'm going to tell you all I know about this.
Oh, okay.
It's not very
right.
much, but I had somebody contact me.
He's afraid I'll report it too soon.
I had somebody contact me this weekend and said, I've got a friend that's got a business in Missouri, and he is wanting to move to this area, and he didn't tell me what business it was, so I don't know. But he was asking me about some availability on some buildings and things like that, and so I said, have him call me, and so we have people like that. I mean, it's word of mouth, and they find out where the good places are, where people
watching
will work.
Kim on television. But sure enough, I mean, we have parks all around us, and if you're a nature lover like Phil and I are, I mean, this is a great place. We have waterfalls that people don't know about.
Yeah.
We kept them to ourselves for a long time.
Got 3 state parks within 20 miles of here, and 5 within 25 or 30 miles, and
a big amphitheater.
Yes,
not too
absolutely.
far from here.
Yeah, and
Mayor Honey said he would appreciate my mentioning his name every once in a while.
well,
he's a good mayor too. Just right up the road from us.
In Albertville, and I mean they've really got it going on now.
Oh, don't they? Every time I pass through there's a new building going up.
Yeah, and I guess they call it rebuilt their park, but I mean it's almost start over and build, and they've got. I mean it's a great park. That's where the amphitheater is, and they have lots of ball fields, and they've got a lazy river, and
it's amazing.
Yeah,
and that's just right up the road from
us.
It's
15 miles away, and lots. They've got new hotels and restaurants and
accommodate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we'd like to have you here, but if you're just needing a place to work or play, there's plenty of places close by to do that.
But if you own your own business, and really because of COVID, I mean, look at me. A lot of folks are working out of their homes now.
Absolutely. I mean, story after story about, lady that moved here from Savannah, Georgia, called and said, "How's the internet?" And, we want to live somewhere else. And Savannah's a great, beautiful place, but she and her daughter's husband, all work from home, and had seen a house for sale here, and they just didn't know anybody, but picked up and moved here and go right on.
And good prices too.
Absolutely. Property taxes are great. Our utilities, our electricity comes from co-ops. Our phone and internet comes from the co-op, and our sewer rates and water rates are great, and it's just a good place to be. And like I say, people that will work, and I got to tell a couple of people yesterday, said, "What are they building over here, close to the ambulance station?" I said, "So they poured concrete." It's another Dollar General, and we've got a Dollar General market that does great, one of the best in the region, and but they're building just a regular Dollar General here that will open late July, and
they're moving on that.
They are, yeah.
And it's right there in the corner. It's going to be a great spot.
Absolutely, and they're going to be some point probably this year redoing our Jack's restaurant. It's kind of undecided at this point if they're going to tear it down and start over or just remodel, but they've got a new look that they're doing, and so ours is on the list to get an update on that. And I got to thinking last week about all the grants that we've applied for, and some of them matching, some of them not, but of course our big thing is a grant that we're getting through Congressman Adderholt's office to our local bank, Liberty Bank, donated a building to the town, and we're going to remodel it, fix it up for our journaling clinic.
Let's go into a commercial break, because I want to talk about that when we get back.
Okay,
that's going to be absolutely amazing. You hang in there. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's a little Mike Harden there.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, good old Mike.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike, for doing it.
Yep.
I've been with Mike for a long time. Yeah, a really, really long time. So, I mean, he's good to us here at the station, too. But Mike's a really good guy. It's really neat to be connected with him. You can also find us on Abundance Television, which is syndicated all over the world. You can find us on Apple, Roku, Amazon Fire, and don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Yeah, Mayor Abels watched me really flounder on that when we first got started. There's too many nets in there. So Net News, now I got it right on. It rolls right off the tongue. NetNewsNetwork.net. And you'll love the talk show host on there. I'm just excited to be part of the gang. And they'll tell you the truth about stuff. So if you get your feelings hurt, you don't want to watch this one. But let's talk about good things. So we got some great things going on.
Yeah.
Right here used to be the old bank building.
Yeah. And Congressman Satterholt's always been real good. It was with his assistance we got the sewer system built a few years ago, and but now we're making plans to get the old bank building remodeled and a lot of things updated on it for Geraldine Clinic. That's already here, but in a small place and needing more room, and some local medical people that have come back here and committed to serving our people. You know, they say this is our town, and
We're lucky to have
want to be
them.
here. Absolutely, always been great. Michelle and Jeff Stewart, just great people, and we're fortunate to have them here. We're going to get that fixed up, and we've applied for grant to do some paving. I mean, we pave some of our roads in town every year. We do some, try to keep them in good shape rather than wait till they get bad, and we'll do some paving whether we get grant money or not, but that would allow us to do more, and also money to do other things. We've applied for a grant, and actually we have just in the process of applying for a second grant to help us with the clinic. Ran across another grant. The first one was federal, and but there's some state money out there on the grant, and we're in the process of getting that done, and then our paving, and then we have reapplied for a grant to build a sidewalk from the school to the library.
Oh, no, that's a great idea.
And we've been working on that off and on for about 8 or 9 years, and last year we applied and didn't get it, and one of our council members, Mr. Larry Langefeld, and I a week or so ago met with the director of the Department of Transportation, so the grant comes with, and we met with him and talked about some things that maybe we needed to do a little different in the grant, and but he's real supportive of it, and talked to some other people, with the in Montgomery at the State Highway Department, and I'm more optimistic than I have been in a long time after talking with them. But
those things it's a process, and you have to wait a long time.
And they have a certain amount of money for that, and some years they may get 10 applicants, and some years they may get 30, and it's just they just have to divvy it out as they see fit.
The government, you have to hurry up and wait about everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when I was working at GTE, I would get the government contracts every year for cell phones, and so they would have me hurry up jumping through all these hurdles, and I'd have to hurry up and get it to them. Then I wouldn't hear anything from them, and so I remember the first one I got. I asked my boss, Ed. I said, Ed, did I not get the contract? And he said, you have little faith. He said, you got to wait. He said, you got to hurry up and get all in it. He said, yeah, I think you've got it. But he said, yeah, and I did. It took me about 6 months to get that one.
Well, Mr. John Cooper, the director of the Department of Transportation, told me, he said, now, just to give you a heads up, he said, if you get awarded the grant, you'll get a letter from Governor Ivey. He said, if you don't get it, you're going to get a letter from me.
So if you pick up the phone at him, you go, forget you, click.
So I'm going to be looking for a letter from the governor, hopefully here. I mean, it's, and the grants are just now, they had to be in June 1st, I think. So it'll probably be August or September before they announce, and then after that, there's still a process to go through. And obviously it'd be next spring before any construction would start. But that's still on the hopeful list. But but we've just about got some new restrooms built at the park, and we're working on getting a new ball field or two built up there, and just things are good. We're just trying to make them a little better.
Yeah, and right here to a friendly town too. I'll tell you. In a number of businesses, you mentioned the Jack's being renovated, and I need to bring this up to you before I forget. And this is at Chick-fil-A in Guntersville, one of our sponsors. So they're going to be closed now for several months. I know, I'm crying too, because I love Chick-fil-A, but they're doing some renovations, and I don't know if they're going to, like Jack's, I don't know if they're going to like tear it down or what they're going to do. Must be going to tear it down because they're saying several months.
Yeah.
So, but you can still go to the Chick-fil-A in Fort Payne. So
Yeah.
we still have that one rocking and rolling there as well.
Yeah.
In Liberty Bank, man, I got to mention Liberty Bank. So I had a issue years ago. We were living in big old Charlotte, North Carolina. Somebody tried to steal my identity, and I won't mention it, but it's a huge worldwide bank. I was using for my business and the TV show and everything. And so, man, it was right at Christmas at the busiest time of the world. So I had issues, and they wouldn't let me talk to the department every single time I called. I had to start at the bottom, work all the way up. And then sometimes somebody would hang up on me about halfway up.
Yeah.
Then I just have to start all over again. It's not that way at Liberty Bank.
No, you call and you hear a person answer the phone, usually Nancy, and after a little visiting, how you doing, and that kind of thing, she'll, what can we do for you today? And you tell her, and she'll connect you to somebody that can help you.
Quick. She acts like it's just like I'm putting out a fire.
Yeah.
It's really, I've never had anything really bad, but one time I thought somebody had got into my bank account. And they tried. Someone did try, and so I didn't read a memo that was sent out to me, and I couldn't use my debit card. And I thought, oh my goodness, what happened to my? There's money in there. I know there's money in there. So I called, and Nancy said, "Don't sweat. You just wait a minute. I'll take care of this."
Yeah.
So she connected me to somebody else. And what happened is somebody tried. But first thing, of course, Nancy and I are friends. We went to school together. She said, "Don't you ever read letters?" And I said, "It's sitting on my desk. I just have it." Read it. And so, but read the letters, okay, and when you have to respond in so many days, do it, so I've learned my lesson.
And, not just a week or so ago, Liberty Bank was celebrating their anniversary number 52 here in Geraldine, and had a cookout, had hot dogs and drinks and chips and ice cream, just come get it.
And they're always doing that. It's
Yeah.
just stuff they do throughout the year. We've got to call it today. Thank you so much. Man, time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, this is a great mayor right here. So thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio, and thank you for being with me on the show today. You'll be on in about 2 more weeks.
Okay,
and
great.
So you guys hang in there. We'll
have plenty to talk about.
Oh, there's lots. Yeah, there's always lots of stuff to talk about around here. So you take care, and we'll see you shortly.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us locally on television, Channel 182, and that's in North Alabama. You can find us on Charter Communications, Channel 182. And we also are syndicated. You can find us worldwide on Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Thank you again so much for watching. You can also find us on all the social media sites as well. So I have a very special guest with me right now. His name is John William. He is actually the owner of Prime Pawn USA. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
How's it going, Donna? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's going great. I'm just having the time of my life. I've got the world's best job. I get to meet all kinds of nice people like you. And I hear you started a business in Rainsville.
I did. We started about 7 years ago. Kind of a need that we noticed. There were a couple of gun stores around. Nobody was doing the whole pawn shop thing. I've been in the business pretty much my whole life. So I said, well, give it my shot. Open one up and see what happens. And it's been good. The city of Rainsville has been very good to us.
That's great. You know something? I love guns. And so I have one, and I got really tickled at my husband. So this is several years ago. My husband said most women would want diamonds, whatever, for their birthday or for Christmas or whatever. And so Phil said, what would you like for Christmas? And I said, I want another gun. And he goes, that's why I married you. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, so yeah.
We go and we buy a gun, and we had to have this background check done. Mm-hmm. I passed it right on through. They stopped him. He was, I don't know why. They said, we're going to have to wait a few days on you, sir.
Well,
I just laughed at it. I said, yeah, he's a hardened criminal.
Right, yeah. They don't give us a reason why. For instance, my name is John Brown, so I have a very common name, and they delay me for 5 days every time that I try to leave with a gun. I don't get to leave it the same day, even though it's my store. I own the FFL to it. I hold all the rights. If I want to take one home, 5 day wait. They won't give me a reason why. It's just some people get unlucky. Some people go right through. Some people have to wait. They don't give us a reason why.
It's so funny because I have a friend also. Every time he takes it, he works corporate with Bank of America, and he has a common name. And there's apparently a thug out there somewhere that has been arrested several times. Every time he takes a flight, every single time he's stopped and he's flagged. So yeah, I get that, and I'm really glad that they are careful that way. I think it's great, and I think it's great for your business as well.
Oh, 100%, because we do not want people that can't have guns to get guns. We're happy the background checks are going through. We're happy that the people that can get guns are able to, but the people who shouldn't have them, we keep them off the street.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So let's talk about this for a few minutes. So let's just say a woman is shopping for a gun. We live in some strange times, and so more and more people are buying guns. I think that's great, but you need to know how to use it. So should the husband choose the gun, or should he bring his significant other to the pawn shop with him to let her choose the gun?
So it's cliche what I'm about to say, but I really believe in it. I believe the gun chooses the owner just as much as the owner chooses it. Something that feels good in my hand that I really enjoy and it fits right isn't probably going to fit my wife's hand. When I bought her first firearm, it's completely different than what I carry. But it's what she has confidence in. It's what she feels comfortable with. And ultimately, that's what you want, because God forbid, if you ever have to use it, you want something that feels good to you, not something that feels good to me.
Because I'll have to tell you, my husband wanted me to get this huge Smith and Wesson, and I said, I can't even hold it. I mean, it is so heavy, I can't do it. So I was really lucky. The person who sold me the gun said, the same premises that you're saying, which made me trust, and it makes me trust you, because I'm going to be shopping for another one pretty soon.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, come see us.
So, I mean, I wanted it to fit in my hand. Now, is there a because I wanted this cute little pink one I saw, but it was too small. It was basically too small. And my husband said, that's just going to make somebody mad. Is that a true statement, or he just didn't want me to have the cute pink gun?
No, the 9mm that's all black and the 9mm that's stainless and pink and looks pretty shoots the exact same bullet. It's going to cause the same amount of damage. The unfortunate person on the other end of it isn't going to care if it's black or pink. It's going to send the same message.
Doesn't matter, does it?
No, not at all.
Let's talk about the person who's a little afraid of guns.
Okay.
Should they even be shopping for a gun at this point?
It's kind of like you said earlier, in the world that we live in, unfortunately, I believe everybody needs something. You can just be going and getting gas, and somebody could come up, try to get in your car, try to steal money from, what have you. Everybody needs something, because the world, in my opinion, is just drifting off the map. So yeah, whether you're scared of them or not, there's classes around. There's some police and sheriff's offices, offer classes. There's a new store in Boaz that offers those classes. I've seen that's been great. Great turnout. Alabama Firearm Academy. There's some friends of mine that have opened it, so they offer classes there. You can get the help to make you confident, but I think everybody needs something to protect yourself and your family.
Well, and I hate to see some people trashing guns. I just hate. I grew up with guns. My dad always had one, kept one. We just knew not to touch it. So let's talk about the safety with parents and their kids. I mean, we just knew not to touch it. We just so. What advice do you have for parents who are thinking about getting a gun, but they're a little afraid of the kids being around them?
So we've got a child, my wife and I, that actually turns 2 later on this week, and we have guns. We've got a safe full of rifles, shotguns, whatever. I have a couple of handguns. She has a handgun. And the way that we do it is, keep them out of hand's reach. Don't put them in the bedside table, something where, the child can get into it. Because at 2, you really can't teach them a whole lot anyways. But once they get older, like you were taught, like I was taught, like the majority of people are taught, don't touch it. Treat every gun like it's loaded. The first thing you do, you get it, breach it, make sure it's unloaded. You just got to ingrain that in them and train the children to check it and make sure that they're not going to do anything that's going to be, devastating.
And I also wanted to mention it's not the gun that kills, it's actually the person who's handling the gun. But this is one of mine, and I really do like this.
Right.
It fits me well. I mean, I just like the way it fits. And but now the one thing about it is pulling this back. So sometimes that can be a little bit hard. What are your thoughts about gun maintenance?
So as far as that goes, most of the guns that come in, if you buy it new, are going to have a little tight spring to it. It's going to be harder, to pull back. There's a couple of manufacturers now that make an EZ style of slide where it makes it really easy to cock it back. People with arthritis, people that don't have really the grip strength to get those slides back, it makes it a little bit easier, for you to get the slide back. There's other options too. If you just do not like that and it just gets too hard, get a revolver. You push a button, the cylinder slides out the side, you load it, close it back up. So, whether you want an automatic, whether you want a revolver, what have you, there's a gun out there for everybody, and we can put you in it.
Right now we're talking about guns. I have John with me, and he's with Prime Pawn, and they are out of Rainsville, Alabama. What's the address there?
752 Main Street East, Rainsville, Alabama. We're right in between the Ace Hardware and the 50 Taters restaurant. 50 Taters and us actually share a gate, so you can go get you something to eat, slide on by. If you're waiting to get in, slide on by and check us out.
There you go. And also the telephone number there.
256-638-2274.
We're talking just a little bit about gun safety and gun maintenance and how do you handle a gun and that kind of thing. Right. And also when you buy a gun, there has to be a background check done, which, I admire. I'm really proud that happens. What kind of information is on that gun check?
You can go to the ATF's website and you can look up any question that you have. You can get a printout of the actual form so you can see what kind of questions are going to be asked, see if you qualify or not. Let's say, you might have had a little bit of trouble earlier on in your life. That shouldn't be on your record anymore. It will give you the people to talk to see if that's going to be a problem.
You never know because, identity theft is just rampant right now. So does that also play into that cause?
We haven't had anything happen like that yet because the individual has to come in and actually fill out the form in person. So, and then we will run the check here. It's not like we get an email of a completed form. The individual has to be in store to fill it out. So we haven't had a case of stolen identity yet. It could happen, but not yet.
Anything could at this point. Now you sell a lot more than guns. Let's talk about some of the other things you carry.
We sell a little bit of everything. We do, of course, the firearms. We have a good selection of jewelry, chains, rings, earrings, pendants, whatever you want. Newer electronics, the newest game systems, the Xboxes, the PS5s, TVs from 75 inches on up if you want it, tools, pressure washers. We just sold a couple of riding lawnmowers this week. So, I mean, just about anything that you want, we've got or we can get a hold of.
That sounds really good. So now you also take automobile titles. How does that work?
We do. So let's say you're just running a little short on cash, and you need a little money, and you own your vehicle. You continue driving your vehicle. You bring your title in. We'll give you the loan. We'll hold the title here, and then once you're ready to pick it up, you come pick your title back up, and you continue driving your vehicle.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. I didn't know it was that easy.
Yep, very easy.
Yeah, because I mean, different things can happen. There can be a death in the family, it could be a divorce, it could be just a million reasons why you would need that service. So yeah, and it's nothing to be looked down on at all. I mean, things happen.
So yeah, the pawnbroking industry unfortunately has had a pretty bad reputation over the last few decades. But one thing that we strive for is to let people know that that's not really what pawn shops are. You need $100 here, $200 there, whatever. A bank's not going to give it to you. You don't want to go ask friends and family, so you can come to us. That's what we're here for. You got your hours cut back at work, and you need an extra couple of $100. Well, come give your TV, your electronics, a pistol, your car, whatever. It's not going to go anywhere. We'll take good care of it like it's ours, and then you can get the help that you need. That's what we're here for.
Are there things that you would not take on pawn?
You can bring in whatever, and we'll take a look at it. About the only thing that we do not take is car audio, the subwoofers and the speakers. But other than that, bring in whatever you got and we'll look at it. And we've even taken a couple of amps and a couple of subs before. That's just something that we normally try to stay away from. But if you've got something that you're interested in selling, bring it up here and we'll check it out.
It's something that I think about a lot, very often, and we have a lot of guests on the show who talk about what if something happens to the grid. So the thing I think about, if something were to happen to the grid, what could we do about communications? Do you guys ever get old CB radios or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. We get CBs. We get the old radios, that you can dial up, all that good stuff. So we get a little bit of all of it.
That's pretty cool. And y'all wanted to mention this too, on any cell phone. Whether it's connected or not, and let's say, sometimes there's family disturbances. And I know one of my friends, Deborah Shear, told me about this, and she's with Second Chance Shelter for women and abused men as well. And she said if you have an old cell phone, as long as it'll power up, the battery's not drained down, and you run into an emergency situation, it doesn't have to be connected to any cell phone carrier. She said you can just dial 911. And it works.
That's true. Whether you have service or not, it's the same thing. If you have an iPhone and you hit the power button like 3 or 4 times, that emergency call will come out. 911 will be reached no matter what's going on. You don't have to have minutes on your phone. You don't have to have a plan. If you need to dial 911, that phone will dial it.
That sounds good. Well, something, time flies, John. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there, okay? Great interview.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Donna's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, in Christ Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And you can also find us on our blog. Take a look at this, netsnewsnetwork.net. Now, I wanted to mention this to you. If you get your feelings hurt really well, you're not going to like this blog. You're just not going to like it. Folks there tell you the truth, and they tell you like as it is. Okay, I have John with me right now, and he's with Prime Pond. And you have a location in Rainsville. Do you have any other locations?
We are currently building the building for our second location in Section, Alabama, right at the red light. Where the old auction house used to be, the big red
yeah.
building. we're putting a building. The storefront's going to be right in front of it, hoping to be opened up later on this year.
Oh, that's awesome. So this great business must be doing well.
It's doing well. Like I said, we've been open about 7 years, and it's getting a little tight here. So we figured open one out in the hometown and see what happens there.
Absolutely. You have a lot of college kids, they're just, Northeast Alabama Community College is just right there by you. And, maybe they just need a little quick buck. Maybe, the parents, the check got lost in the mail from the parents. Different things can happen. So there are different ways you can you take care of folks. And I wanted to say the customer service. And what does customer service mean to you, John?
Oh, it means everything. Like I said, the pawnbroking industry has such a rough reputation, and that we're trying to break. Customer service is where that begins, to take care of people and know that, hey, we're not trying to take advantage. We're not trying to rip you off. We're here to help. You know what I mean? If you need a couple of extra bucks to get through, we're here. And, one thing that we want to do is develop a relationship with the customer. That's why we have so much repeat business. People that have came from other stores, they'll come here and they continue to do business with us, because that's something that we strive for, is to be the best business and customer service around.
I think so too, and I know I'm in the business. I want you to advertise with me, but now the best advertising is word of mouth.
Correct.
I mean, I even admit that.
Right.
And it's because you can make or break a customer. Sometimes somebody just misunderstands. So how do you handle folks? Because sometimes people just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. They just fuss about everything that particular day. How do you handle a comment, say like on Facebook or something like that? Have you ever received any bad reviews?
We've had one review on Google that was subpar, and I think we've had one on Facebook that was subpar. One, talking about the background checks earlier, the gentleman could not fill out the paperwork correctly. I don't know if he just didn't have his mind all the way there. Something was going on, and I didn't let him leave with the firearm because he couldn't fill out the form. And then another one, they didn't make it in at the allotted time. We ended up selling their item, and they weren't very happy about that. But we take in the spades, and we do everything that we can to try to make the situation better. But sometimes it doesn't happen, and you get a negative feedback. You'll take it under the chin and keep going. But most of it is overwhelmingly positive, that people are happy with what we're doing here.
Well, I've got to say this, John. I'm really, as a citizen of this area, I'm glad you didn't let the person have the gun.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So thank you for that. They could have come to my house. Who knows?
Yeah. If you can't fill out the form, we're not going to let you leave with it. You got to fill out the form. So
that makes sense. Let's get back into if I wanted to pawn something. Let's just say maybe I inherited some china from my grandmother or something.
Yeah.
And so how does that process work? What if I just don't really want it back? I just want you to have it.
So you bring an item in. Let's say you bring in a silver plate, okay, and you're wanting $100 for it. You have two options there. Number one, you can sell it outright. We'll write you up for the purchase of it. We'll give you the money. You leave. That's the end of the transaction. If you want a loan, if it's a priceless heirloom that you just got to get back, you're just running a little short on cash that day. What we'll do is we'll take it in. We'll wrap it up. We'll put your name on it. Put it in the back with all of our other pawn merchandise, and then in 30 days you can come in and pay the little 25% convenience fee to hold it for 30 more days, or you can pay $125, which is what we gave you, plus the convenience fee to pick it up, and then your item's back.
That sounds easy enough right there for me. Let's talk about collectibles. I have, and you'll never get this, John, but I have some Elvis records, some 45s.
Elvis records. Yep.
Oh, yeah. My mother was a huge Elvis, well, she still is, huge Elvis fan from the 50s. And then I became one of the 70s. I really loved Elvis. So do you ever get collectible items into the pawn shop?
Oh yeah, we've had records come through. We've had a couple of Beatle records, a couple of Elvis records. We've had Barbie dolls that have came through. Still in the packaging that we've taken in. So like I said, whatever you've got. I mean, from TVs to Barbie dolls to guns, George, bring it in. We take just about everything. So
Yeah.
Collectibles is just fun.
I wanted to also mention jewelry. I mean, you'll never get a better deal. Do you get
No.
pearls and that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, we have pearls, we have diamonds, we have just about any kind of gemstone you want, and it's going to be a fraction of what you pay for at retail. These K jewelers and Jared's and all of that, they're going to crush you when it comes to the process of especially diamonds. So if you want a diamond ring, check with us first and see what the process, because you're going to be very surprised. Probably have a little sticker shock when you go to Jared's, then come to us and see the same ring for about 20% of what they're asking for it.
I think so too. But I don't know. I have a friend who had the most beautiful ring I think I've ever seen in my life. And I was complimenting her on it. And I said, those diamonds, that is a beautiful, beautiful ring. And she said, it's not real diamonds. How in the world do you tell the difference? Because some of these look like diamonds.
Well, some of these are getting very tough. They're growing diamonds. They're lab created diamonds. And they actually look the same and hold up a little bit better than a diamond that you would mind. But we've got a couple of instruments that we can test and make sure if we've got it that it's a real diamond, it's a real diamond out of the earth. That's been mined. It's not lab grown. It's not anything like that. But we do have a couple of those. If you want something that looks just like a diamond, that's going to be a little bit less, we can hook you up with a great fake diamond or a lab created diamond.
Now, what's the difference between 10 karat gold, 14 karat gold, 18 karat? What's the big difference in those?
It's purity of gold. So like 10 karat is 41.7% pure gold, where 14 karat is 58.5% pure gold. That's why the numbers differ. And you talk about 22 karat, 24 karat. You don't see that very often in jewelry. That's mostly your coins and your bars and what have you.
Now, do you guys buy gold?
Oh yeah, yes, ma'am. We buy whatever you've got. If it's coins, bars, if it's broken, if it's not, those herringbone chains. If you barely bend those wrong, they'll never be fixed again. But we take them in all the time. If it's broken in 3 or 4 different pieces, if the ring's over here and the diamond's over there, that's fine. We'll buy that too. So whatever you got, you can bring it in, and we'll give you the highest prices around.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to come by. There's a necklace I've had probably 30 years, and I've not worn it much, and it's gold. I mean, it's like 14 karat gold, but it's the kind of chain that it's bent, and you can't get it straightened down. So you would actually buy that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, just because we can't retail it doesn't mean we won't buy it. A lot of things now are being scrapped down, so you'll just buy it and sell it for the price of gold, and then somebody will melt it down and maybe make it into a new piece. Yeah, just because it's broken doesn't mean it's worthless. It's the complete opposite. It's still worth what the market says it's worth, which right now the market is extremely high. Last month it hit the highest that I've ever seen it, and I've been in this business since I was 7.
I'll have to run by. I'll have to let you see that. Sure. We've got less than a minute left in this segment. What would you like to tell everybody before we go?
I don't really have a whole lot to say. We've went through a lot. Just come see us if you need a little money here or there. That's what we're here for. We can help you out. We do loans anywhere from $50 up to $5,000. Whatever you need, you come and see us. And then if you want something at a great price, come check us out too. We've got guns, jewelry, electronics. We've got wheels for cars. We got washing machines, chainsaws, whatever. So come check us out. We'd be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely. Thank you, John, for being on the show. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Donna. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television, syndicated on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and don't forget, netnewsnetwork.net. You take care. I'll see you in a few minutes with another awesome guest. John, thank you.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Again, thank you so much for watching us every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. And AP Stedham gets to ride home with you as well. AP Stedham is our go-to sports guy, and he also hosts his own talk show, and so it's good to have you.
Hey, good afternoon, Donna. How are you? So glad to be here.
Doing fantastic. Now that it's summertime and we're feeling heat outside, I'm good.
Yes, the heat. I like the heat myself. Get to go to the pool, get to go to the Gulf, get our feet in the water, walk around on the sand, and enjoy the weather.
I'm into that. I'm into it. So what's going on in the sports world? You had an interesting week last week.
Yeah, Donna, we were down in Destin, Florida for the 2023 SEC spring meetings. The main topic was the schedule moving forward with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma for the 2024 season. So they came up with the limited schedule of 8 games for that season, and they're going to try to figure out moving beyond that next year for next year's meeting. So 2024, they're going to announce the schedule, Donna, on television, SEC Network, June 14th. So people can tune in and check out the schedule for 2024, be 8 games for each team in the league. That will leave 4 non-conference games for everybody to arrange. So it should be a lot of fun to find out what happens on June 14th. And that was the big topic of discussion for the SEC.
Mm-hmm. SEC is still going strong.
Yeah, everybody's watching them, and some people are criticizing them for coming up with that 8-game schedule for the year 2024, but I don't think there's a rush. I mean, they're the top league in the country. They can take their time and make a decision. I think eventually, Donna, I do believe it'll be 9 games. I think the format would probably be 3 permanent opponents, and then 6 rotating opponents. So you'll get to play all the games. I mean, people are saying that some of the players are going anyway because they're going to the NFL after 3 years, so they won't get to visit all the schools. But there's not that many that leave early on all the teams. So your full roster will have a chance to make a visit home and away to all the schools in the conference. So when they go to that 9-game schedule, it'll be a short amount of time than if you had 8 games in 1 year. So, but I think it was a good decision. There's no need to rush it.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you have questions for AP, you can send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. So you do have a few. And one is actually from Andy, and it's pertaining to what you were just talking about. So he just has a question for you about the game length. You know, some of the games kind of go a little lengthy. Do you think having that many will shorten the length of the regular football games?
Well, they came up with some rules that they're just going to stop the clock. It's the last, I think, 2 minutes on the first down, the last 2 minutes and a half in the fourth quarter. I believe that's the rule. So you're going to miss, I think, from anywhere from 3 to 7 plays probably. So the game will be shorter because of that particular rule. That's one thing they did implement. And then also, Donna, they're going to get rid of the divisional play, SEC West, SEC East. They're just going to have one big division with all the teams, 16 teams. So how they determine the first and second team, that's yet to be arrived at by the powers to be. But I imagine it's going to involve the college football playoff rankings, which we know happens about halfway through the season. They start having those discussions and rankings. I think it's in October sometime. So you're not going to have the SEC East or the SEC West in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Right. Another question comes from Kirk, and Kirk's question is about referees. He says he doesn't understand, and maybe you can help him understand why when referees see something that happens, but then the video shows it didn't happen the way the referee saw it. Why is it that the referee always gets the preferential treatment?
Well, as I understand it, if you're having something under review, by definition, you could change it because you're watching the video. Now, if they watch the video and they come to the agreement that the original call is correct, then they're going to stand pat. They're not going to make the change. But plays that can be reviewed, that's why you can change them. If you're watching the video and you see that something else happened, you can make the change. But that's refereeing in the SEC and college football. You can watch the video, you can make the change, but you can also hold pat and agree with your original call. And just one other thing about that, Donna. Referees, they're graded. So it's in their interest to get the right call, because if they don't, they're not going to be part of the SEC. They may be suspended for certain things if it's a blatant call that they didn't make and it was reviewed. And so it's in the referee's interest to make the right call.
It should be, but there was a couple of times last year, and you and I discussed these, where it was plain. You could see in the video that, I don't even remember which incident it was, but you could see literally in the video that it shouldn't have been called, or it was a touchdown, or something. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, I mean, it was literally in the video, but they still held on to what they thought happened.
Right. And that happens sometime. And then sometime when we're watching the ball game, we're seeing the TV replay, and it's not the video. It's not a reviewable play. So we're thinking in our mind, that's a reviewable play, but it's not. They're showing us on the TV, but they can't make the change because it's not a call that can be changed. So, but they do make some mistakes. There's no question, but they have that video, and it's supposed to be a tool that they can use to correct something that was a wrong call.
We had a lot of questions this past week after the last show you were on, about, most of those were pertaining to Tennessee. Tennessee got the most. Tennessee, Alabama, and then there was Georgia, and then there was Auburn. So I guess we need to put a lot of emphasis on those 4 teams today.
Right. Tennessee, we had a chance to speak to Josh Heupel, the head coach of Tennessee, and he's really excited and thrilled about his quarterback, Joe Milton. He's been there. This would be the 3rd year he transferred from Michigan. He had an excellent ball game in the bowl game against Clemson. So Joe, his reputation as a strong arm. Well, that's great. But Donna, they don't call too many plays where you're throwing it 60 yards down the field. It's between the 20-yard distance and 40 yards. You have to have the accuracy and make the correct decision. So I think you're going to see a much improved Joe Milton lead the Tennessee Volunteers this season. They're a big threat to challenge Georgia. That game will be played in Knoxville in November. So, Tennessee has to travel to Tuscaloosa in October to play Alabama as well. We're going to find out about the Tennessee Volunteers in the first 5 or 6 games when they have to travel to Alabama and some other teams. But I'm sure they're looking, if they can get by Alabama, that game in Georgia, that's going to be one of the biggest games in not only the Southeastern Conference, but across the entire country. Then you have Georgia down, and they have a quarterback battle, but I think it's Carson Beck will be the starter. Brock Vandegrift as well is challenging. But Georgia has all the talent. Defensively, they can make some plays. We all know that defense down is having a difficult time throughout the country in college football because they can't stop these high-powered offenses with these fast wide receivers and quarterbacks that are so terrific. But Georgia is a team to challenge in the SEC East. They still have the best players overall on their roster, and Kirby Smart, he has managed to understand the R&D, the recruiting and the development as well. And then Alabama was another team they mentioned. So Alabama, to me, a lot of question marks because of the quarterback situation. They had the transfer from Notre Dame. They have a couple of returning players, Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson. Ty Buckner is a transfer from Notre Dame. But I want to see if Alabama's receivers can be productive. And I mean to score 50 yards, 60 or 70-yard touchdowns. I want to see if they can catch the ball consistently. Alabama has a group of running backs that are good. I don't know if they have any All-American players or all-conference. They have a host of running backs that can be productive and catch the football out of the backfield. So we shall see about Alabama. Defensively, they lost the best defensive player in America, Will Anderson Jr., and on the offense, they lost Bryce Young, former Heisman Trophy winner. The kicking game should be solid, but I think Alabama, they're going to be challenged at home against Texas the second game, Tennessee in October, and then LSU in November. Was there another team, Donna? Did I miss another team?
Yeah, Auburn.
Auburn, yes. Yeah, Auburn right now I consider a spoiler team. They brought in the quarterback from Michigan State, Peyton Thorne. So he had a good year 2 years ago, 27 touchdowns. I think it was an 11-2 season. And then last year they were 5-7. It had 16 touchdowns. But I think he'll thrive and return to form probably with Hugh Freeze because he's very good with managing and coaching quarterbacks. So, and they brought in some better receivers. They have a lot of transfers on the offensive line. So I think offensively, Auburn will be better. And then because they're better offensively, that will help the defense because you're trying to keep those offenses that can score so many points on the sidelines where your offense operates, and keeping them from scoring more points. So I think overall Auburn is a spoiler team. They're probably going to upset somebody this season with Hugh Freeze as a coach.
And then we have this question also. This is from Paige. And Paige says, if you don't mind, who would you consider the worst team out there right now? That's kind of a
worst team right now.
Yeah, who would be the worst?
Well, I would say that Vanderbilt is a team that they struggle offensively normally. Clark Lee is a good defensive coach, and but they've been getting better under his leadership. But Vanderbilt, I wouldn't sleep on them if I was playing them because they play hard and their quarterback getting better. So, but they do struggle offensively to score points in this era of college football where points are people are scoring a high number of points with this offense, their offenses. So with Vanderbilt, and that's in the East, and in the West, we know that Texas A&M last year, Donna, it didn't matter the opponent. It seemed like they scored 20 points. They were upset. I think Appalachian State came in there and beat them, right? Appalachian State, Texas A&M. So A&M has got to get better. They brought in Bobby Petrino, who was the former Arkansas coach, Louisville coach with the Atlanta Falcons. He has a good offensive mind. Now, if Jimbo Fisher is going to let him operate, we shall see. But Texas A&M, they had trouble scoring points.
Absolutely. You know what? We've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of the Cobb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back! The My Pillow guy!
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
We are back.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, newsnetwork.net. I have AP Stedham with us right now. He is your go-to sports guy. Okay, you talk to him about everything. AP is also host of another talk show called AP and Kelly As We See It. What's going on with that show?
Yeah, Donna, I'm glad you brought that up. We're here every Friday, Football Friday, 4 p.m. IC Radio. You can tune in and listen to our show. And last week, Donna, our guest, we were down in Destin, Florida at the 2023 SEC Spring Meetings. We had Bruce Pearl, the head basketball coach of Auburn University. And then we had Candace Story, And she was the first African American woman to lead an SEC program. She's director of athletics at Vanderbilt. You know, Donna, she's about 6'3". She played basketball at Vanderbilt, was the captain, 4-year letter winner. So both of those guys, very entertaining. People can go back and listen on the archive on the Facebook page of the show, AP and Kelly as we see it. And we love being on IC Radio every Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. They can listen to the broadcast. And we'll continue to talk about football this week. We're going to have Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times. He'll discuss Florida and the SEC. And then we have a gentleman who's going to discuss Mississippi State. We'll talk about the Bulldogs. So those will be our two guests. And then we have a special guest for the co-host, AJ Spur. AJ covers Alabama for USA Today. He has that website. So we look forward to talking more SEC football as the season approaches in September.
We're excited about that too. By the way, wanted to mention, if you have any questions for AP, you can send those to Donna at donnasedge.com. And by the way, you'll see the email address down there also right there in where the ads are, right under it. You'll find those as well. AP, I wanted to talk to you. Oh, I wanted to mention this to you. I don't know if I've ever mentioned Phil's mother was almost 6 foot tall. She played basketball back in the day.
Oh, I love it. I love it
Yeah.
that she played basketball. I love that sport.
6'2".
Wow, that's awesome. That must have been so much fun to be playing basketball at that time.
Yeah, this is like in the 1940s, and she was really darn good at it.
Right. They probably played the three. They used to play the women's basketball. I'm not sure about Phil's mother, but 3 players on one side, and they would play offense and defense, and then they have 3 players on the other side, offense and defense. So they didn't run the full court. They didn't think women could make it up and down the court. Donna, how strange is that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if she were around in today's time playing basketball, she'd be one of them you'd be talking about a lot because the personality and the whole work. So I think
Probably
that was
so, yeah.
great. Let's talk a little bit about the Wishbone Boys. One of I think my all-time favorite interviews were with them. They were so fun.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun playing football during that era. But Donna, we're going to have the Wishbone Boys golf tournament at Bentbrook in Bessemer. That is the first Thursday in November. So you can go to the Wishbone Boys website. You can see how to join, and everybody can participate. And you'll meet a lot of the Wishbone Boys at that golf tournament on Thursday. I think that's November 2nd, Donna, that first Thursday in November. But you can go to the website and sign up to play with the Wishbone Boys. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be a lot. I'd like to have my camera down there and maybe interview some of the guys.
Yeah, it'd be fun right there in Bessemer at Bentbrook Golf Course. So sign up at the Wishbone Boys website.
I was so impressed with all the interviews. And there was a common theme when they were talking about Coach Paul Bear Bryant. And, of course, they really respected him. And, respect has to be earned. And that coach earned that respect. But they also spoke very much of Mrs. Bryant and how she was almost the mother figure to a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. She would console some of the players if Coach Bryant was giving them a tough time. So, yeah, the coach's wife is very important to a football program. I mean, any major college, the coach's wife for all the sports, you have to be on board because the players are looking to you. Maybe they can't discuss it with the coach, and maybe discuss it with his wife.
That's almost like when you're a kid growing up talking to your mother instead of your dad first.
Yes,
So
that happened.
They had that role. Let's talk for a few minutes about Notre Dame.
Okay.
And I can't find the text. Somebody had sent me a message, or the email. Somebody had sent me a message about Notre Dame.
Right.
How are they in the standings right now?
Right. Donna, Notre Dame, it was interesting because Sam Hartman is a quarterback from Wake Forest. He's got big numbers. He's been there, I think, 3 or 4 years. But anyway, he transferred to Notre Dame. He'll be the quarterback. So I'm thinking that if he plays well, he's going to have a chance to visit New York as a Heisman candidate because they're on national TV all the time. And he's a very prolific passer. And that's why the quarterback from Notre Dame has transferred to Alabama, Ty Buckner. So they should have an excellent quarterback. Marcus Freeman, this will be his, I think it's second year. This will be his second year as the head coach of Notre Dame. He was the defensive coordinator. He played football at Ohio State. So Notre Dame, I'm thinking that Notre Dame has a chance to be in the top 10 this year because they have a quarterback that can make a difference. He's as good as anybody's. And when you're going into those close ball games now, the last 2-3 minutes, if you have a pocket passer, and he's a pocket passer, Hartman, and they're going to have a chance to win some ball games. So Notre Dame, yeah, they have a good team.
Clemson was also mentioned this week. What are your thoughts about Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson, new quarterback. He played some last year, but the quarterback from California ended up transferring to Oregon State. So Clemson, they're trying to rebound, and they lost that bowl game to Tennessee by double digits, I think it was. So Clemson will challenge for the ACC title. I think Florida State is the team to watch in that league, along with Clemson, because they have a good quarterback as well. So I think it probably come down maybe to that game, Clemson and Florida State, and see who wins that. Probably win the ACC. That's what I'm thinking. But North Carolina has an outstanding quarterback too, Heisman Trophy candidate Drake May. But I think that Florida State and Clemson are the teams to beat in the ACC.
Christy had a question about the kicker. Okay, she said, do you know of any female kickers that are out there for any of the college games?
Yeah, I don't know about this year. I don't know. I couldn't say yes or no with any certainty. I'm really not familiar with any female kickers at this point, but they may emerge.
You never know. And you and I have discussed this, I don't know how many times, about sometimes the kicker saves the game. So that's an important position right there.
Oh, my goodness. Important with a capital I. You better believe it. Have a good kicker.
Yeah. I mean, that's vital. So if you had to choose, I know a lot of variables, a lot of things can happen between now and by the time the football season begins, but is there a Cinderella team, somebody you're looking right now that's getting low accolades, but you think could actually emerge and just be a powerhouse?
Right. I'm trying to think of a team all across the country actually that might stand out. I don't particularly have a team right now, Donna. I think I have to see a game or two, but I mean, it's the usual suspects, as we always know. In the Big Ten, you have the Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, Wisconsin. ACC, like I say, Florida State, Clemson. The Big 12, it's Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor, TCU. You have a team like last year, Tulane. How about Tulane? They ended up playing in the Cotton Bowl and being USC with the Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. In the Pac-12, you have USC, UCLA, Oregon, SEC. It's always Georgia. We know that LSU won the division last year with first-year coach Brian Kelly, Alabama. Could somebody else in the West who's never been to the title game, could an Ole Miss team, could they come alive and win that division? They've never been in the title game. Arkansas has played in it, Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State. I'm trying to think of Texas A&M has played in that championship game. I don't think they have. So, but I don't have a team I would consider a Cinderella team right now. I really don't.
You got to see a little more action before we could say that.
Yeah, I think so.
We have to go. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It's always fun.
Okay, thank you, Donna. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television Syndicated. You can find us there on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Thanks, AP. See you later.
Bye, Donna. Thank you, Donna.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And you can also find us on netnewsnetwork.net. That's our new podcast. So good to be with you today. I have a special friend with me right now. We've been friends for a long time. His name is Rick Staines, and you are actually visiting another part of the world right now.
I certainly am. I'm actually at home here in England. So this is an international version, if you like.
Yeah, I like it. You know, I love this television show called Escape to the Country. And I catch it every moment I can. And I just love the English countryside. Some of my gardening ideas have come from England.
Yeah, some of the English countryside is actually very beautiful. It's the little bits in between that are not so beautiful. Where else?
Sounds like around here.
Yeah, some of the houses are stunning. Some of the gardens are stunning. And you know, on a good summer's day, anywhere in the countryside here, or anywhere where there's like an attraction, like I went to Hever Castle, and we then went down to Arundel Castle. Beautiful sunny days. The gardens in those places are amazing, and it's a wonderful place to be. When the weather turns and it's wet, not as nice. But isn't that the same anywhere? Yeah,
it's the same way here. So how often do you get rain there? Because almost every one of the shows, they've either just had rain or is about to.
Well, I've been here almost 2 weeks and we haven't had one drop of rain.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It was, I mean, and hang on, there may be a fleeting drop of rain, but it was very fleeting. It didn't even really make anything really wet. It was just very, very quick, very sporadic. But I mean, it's actually been really nice. And we were talking about 70, low 70s, which is good for England, pretty much for the 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's beautiful. I've been once, and I had a blast. I loved it. So,
yeah,
it's where my family is from, actually. Last name Cheers is a very common name there, is what I understand.
Yeah. Do you know whereabouts your family came from originally?
Nope.
Because England's very complex. I mean, right now I'm in the south. I'm in a place called Horsham. So about 24 miles from the coast, from Worthing and Brighton. But they speak with my accent that I have now. But this accent varies within a few miles and gets worse as it gets north. So you need to find out where you're from, and then I can either be kind to you or I can make fun of you even more.
Oh, okay. No doubt it was probably the southern part. I'm just basing it on,
Just pull the wool over my eyes because
yeah.
You don't.
So I've got to ask you this question. Okay, we've had, and I'm sure you keep up with the news while you're abroad, but things are really weird here in the United States. What are your family and friends, what did they think of the United States, just based on what they're hearing in the news? And what news are they hearing? It's
funny because they, obviously a lot of their opinion on politics is by the news. And the news is way biased. I mean, it's like everything else in the US. It gets played over here by the BBC. There's no unbiased news. They have the spin. That's what they want to say. So they get the same kind of news we get over there, which doesn't tell the truth. So they have a completely miscued idea of what America's like.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, they're worried about all of the violence. And most of the time, there isn't any. It's very spread in small areas. It's very sort of like, inner city stuff, and there's only certain cities that it really happens into. So you have to explain a whole lot because they do believe that it's worse than it is. They also see a lot of things where, or Americans are portrayed as like kind of like stupid. Mm-hmm. So they also get that part of it too, and then they also then see what Americans come over to the to the UK, and those people, generally their dress sense isn't great. There's a little bit of arrogance there, and the service isn't the same here, so they're very loud. They're because we're not over here, we're much more subdued. So they don't have the correct view. It's when they come over and they actually see it for themselves, it changes their mind, because then they realise that it's not what's portrayed on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say everything is wrong. I mean, it's just. But what did they think of our president of the United States, Joe Biden?
Well, if they had a view on Trump, they definitely have a view of Biden. They all know he's an idiot. I mean, because we were sitting there laughing today with my brother about him falling over again. And it's like, well, we get used to it. I mean, he's old and doddery, and when you have to watch him walk, at one point he's going to fall over.
Yeah,
it looks very unstable. So, yeah, their opinion isn't very high of him. But
well, at least somebody has a high opinion of him. Folks act like they're just really shocked that he's a few people here are beginning to come around. Even some Democrats are saying, whoa, because there's so much corruption in that family.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are coming around to not only that, but the fact now that they've gone through 3 voting cycles, which was 2016, where Hillary was supposed to win and didn't. Then 2020, when Trump should have won and he didn't. And then the midterms they just had. And basically there's powers that be have been watching, so they know all the tricks now. And that was the plan, is just to make sure that they could cover all the bases. They know exactly. That's why the Dems are a little bit scared that Trump's back on the scene, and he's sparking. He's back to his old self. He's very outspoken, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, all we're seeing in the headlines this week is the division in the Republican Party, the big division, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's almost like it's between him and DeSantis. And I like DeSantis, but I think he's a good guy. But I don't know if they're really fighting as much as the media says they are.
Yeah, I think it's the media spin, to be honest with you, because it's all they've got. I mean, they've got nothing else. I mean, what have they got to say about the Dems? Not a lot. Only that Joe Biden's basically trying to tie up and not have anybody to debate him, because he knows he'd lose. I mean, he'd lose against anybody. He'd lose against a kindergarten kid.
I still can't believe he's president of the United States. I still think someday I'm going to wake up and this is not happening. It's just been a huge dream. So, I mean, how can you possibly run as president of the United States and not have debates? And, I mean, how do you think it's going to work out for the Democrats this year?
Well, I would hope that, there's been, I mean, if I was to take it, just gauge it on the show that CNN put on for Trump, and brought him in and had a mainly liberal left audience, and at the end they were all applauding Trump. The reason being is because they were live in the studio with him. They got to see him as he is. They got to realize that he's not this person that the news portray, because they couldn't do the selective editing and the sound bites that they would normally do. He was engaging, and they all applauded him at the end. So it kind of backfired on CNN. When you get that kind of thing, you go, oh, okay, well, how's that going to work with everybody else? Yes, you're going to always get the people that don't like Trump. But I think America's just had enough. They've just had enough of all of this stupid rubbish that we're having to deal with. That's very divisive and trying to get us riled up. I mean, I say us, the normal, regular people, trying to get us riled up so that they can say, oh, look, they're just white supremacists. Because that seems all they've got is to call up racist.
Well, it's all about division, I think. So what they're trying to do, and I'm really not that keen on Elon Musk, because I don't know, did he plant this division or try to plant some division between Trump and DeSantis? I mean, he wanted to go on ahead, get on Twitter, which it blew up on him, by the way. And, and let DeSantis go on ahead and announce his running for president. I'm still out there about Elon Musk.
I think he's actually been good for a lot of things. I think that, he has a way of thinking, a business brain, a way of thinking of things that all of us don't always, match with. And sometimes that could be problematic. I think, in general, he's got some decent ideas. I mean, they're not all perfect. But I mean, if it wasn't for him, Twitter would be the same old, rubbish we were getting before. Yeah. So, and in that case, when when Twitter was was shutting everything down because it was in line with the FBI and everybody else and the US government, it wasn't good for us. It wasn't good for free speech. So
Right.
it's horses for courses. I think I think in general he's good, but he does make some hiccups occasionally.
I almost see him as like, you've had a sibling that would, kind of jerk your chain just a little bit to get there. I kind of see him as being the sibling who jerks the chain. And I don't know that he really knows what side he wants to be on.
Yeah, did you see the interview with the BBC reporter that he did, where he just basically turned it around? It was a very, very good interview. I mean, he made the BBC guy look stupid. He's very, very smart. He's a very, very smart man. But like I say, sometimes he doesn't always do the things that we expect him to do. So we go, I don't know if I like that or not. But, I guess that's the same with anybody. I mean, not everything Trump did was, had an approval. It's just that's why he's where he is. That's, what they do.
But Trump's consistent. So I wanted to ask you, okay, and this is about, but I like it. And to me, he's just not rude. I like the guy. I like his bluntness. I mean, I like, just tell it like it is, whatever. I really love the interview though with the lady who said they were talking about this affair he supposedly had, with this lady, and he said, "Well, just look at her. She's not my type." And then he looked at the interviewer and said, "And you're not my type either." So I was just like, there you go, dude. I mean, what's wrong with being truthful and just saying things the way they are? I mean, you're that kind of a guy. You're that guy.
Yeah, we there was a poll here today actually because there was a kid in a class gave out invites to his birthday, and there was one kid that didn't get invited, and because they were saying on this it's like a morning breakfast show. Well, they should have invited that one kid, and I'm like, no, because you don't know what's going on in the class. You don't know why people don't invite him or don't want him. Then we should not put peer pressure on these kids to invite everybody in the class, because that's what we do. We just go like, oh, you should invite everybody, make everybody feel comfortable, because today it's all about making people feel like they belong. And sometimes you don't belong, whether you think it or not. You don't belong, and if he doesn't belong, then don't invite him. He'll learn the hard way. Yeah, you either got to be nice to people or just accept that you ain't going to get invited to birthday parties.
Well, it's all about appearances. Like men who are dressed up like women, and they don't look anything feminine at all. I mean, a few of them do, I guess, but I mean, this whole thing about being accepted for who you are, but the deal, if you're really following science, that's not true.
Yeah, again, I mean, the one thing I'd say about here, they've got some very interesting shows. There's one called Naked Attraction, where one person has a choice of, starts with the first choice of 5 people, and those 5 people are naked, and they show them in progressive states of undress. I mean, they lift the screen up, and so you're seeing everything. It's just it's a sight to behold, believe me. And there's another show we were watching where it was like Dress to Impress, where the guys the people have to buy an outfit. 3 people have to buy an outfit for this one person. That one person then chooses 2 people to go through the 3 based on their outfit. And there's one guy on there, and he actually had a vlog, an online vlog, and his character was a female. And because he told everybody on camera he dressed as a female. And whilst I get that, it was kind of weird that you'd go on TV to try and get a date with a girl and then come out and tell her that you dress as a woman online because you have a vlog. And he was actually, when he was dressed shopping for clothes for her, he was trying them on. This is so warped. And
I mean, please.
it's crazy. It is a crazy, crazy world. I mean, we had a good giggle about it, but I mean, the ramifications on after that. I mean, he got knocked out in the first round because his choice of clothes was just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that he was just the way he was because he just thought he was so good. But it's like because he couldn't make up his mind what he wanted to be. Are you going to be the guy? Are you going to be the girl? And he was having this conflict with himself, which when it comes down to, is that the mental illness that everybody's going on about? Is that the conflict, the schizophrenia in people?
It's out there and it's rampant. Let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break. We will be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibility. Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I have my friend Rick Staines with us, and he ain't from here. I think you all already knew that with his accent. But anyway, he's back at the home country right now, soon to come home back to Georgia.
Yes.
It'll be great to have you back.
Looking forward to it, coming back on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be nice to get back to the farm. Look forward to it.
I know, I can. You miss it, don't you? I mean, it's
You do.
like we were living in Charlotte, North Carolina, for a really long time, and I was missing the farm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, once it gets under your skin, I mean, and then there's just the fact that it's, where it is, it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's very calming to live in a place like that, and you can forget what's going on in the outside world to a degree, being so far away from town, and although there are neighbours, they're close enough to see. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to hear their noise. I mean, here, because everything's so on top of you, there's so little privacy.
yeah, I don't like that. I don't. Now I had in Charlotte. I had wonderful neighbors. It was a little private cul-de-sac, and just fantastic. I miss them. I really do. But then you had the other parts of Charlotte. There were some places you didn't want to go to in the daytime, let alone at night. Some areas of crime and that kind of thing. And of course, crime is Everywhere. But I wanted to ask you a question. This is about photography, and we talked a little bit about Donald Trump. So this is what I've noticed. I have a very good friend in Anniston who's an attorney, and his daughter is a model, and she is just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So I was at his office one day, and it was a business call, and he said, "Hey, I want to show you Patty's album." And so I'm looking at it, and I said, "My God, does she ever take a bad photo?" And he said, "Yeah." He said they have to take about 1,000 pictures to get 5. So
Yeah.
is this what they're doing to Trump? Because it's like every picture you see of Trump, I mean, he's looking like they're catching him. Like, how many frames are they going through to find the frames they want out on the media?
But they take a ton of pictures. I mean, if you know anything about cameras, and you can turn that automatic that shutter on, so when you push the button, it just like fires. My camera will shoot, I think it's like 11 to 15 frames a second.
Uh-huh.
So when you push that button, if you've got it set right, it's like a machine gun. So what you do then is it might be you'll have 15 pictures almost the same. You just pick the best one out of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that when you're taking pictures of children, animals, anything that's moving fast, even weddings. At certain points of the wedding, you'll take a really fast shots with the camera, just so that you know that one of those shots is going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's obvious they're picking the bad ones.
Well, of course they do. I mean, I took there was 5 pictures of me and my son taken yesterday, and 3 of them I had my eyes closed, and I look stupid. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but it did. But because it does happen. I mean, you can't help it. I mean, and the camera's just, especially.
It's just going. You're going to get bad ones.
Yes.
So that's the ploy. So you see the bad, and people are actually basing their decision on Trump on pictures.
Unfortunately, again, you're talking about a bunch of people that don't like him anyway, that then just decide that they're going to eviscerate him because of the way he looks on a camera or a picture. If you did the same to them, you would be called, you'd be called all the names under the sun, because it'd be like, oh, you're shaming them because of the way they look, or because they're fat, or you can't win. I mean, it's okay for them to do that. You can't do it in any way back to them. I mean, I've had cameras shoved in my face before, and I've shoved my camera back in someone else's face, and they're going like, you can't do that. Hey, you've been doing this to me for 20 minutes. I'm going to take a picture of you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to shove my camera in your face. Mm-hmm. So, again, it goes back to the equality. Everything's okay when it's the left and the liberals, not when it's the middle to the right.
Do you feel like, as a country, we're losing pride? And the reason I'm asking that is I was watching a commercial. I've watched several commercials. And since I'm in the business, I watch commercials probably more than anything else now. And so there are pictures of women who are overweight, and they're dancing across the stage. They're wearing clothes that are just not appealing to them at all. And they seem to be proud of it. You remember There was a time when, when people actually cared what they looked like with their clothing and like you remember the old days, you probably had somebody say, "Hey, Rick, does this make me look fat?" Well, I can imagine you saying, "Yeah, it does." And so, no, you wouldn't do that. But no. If I had a friend, I'd tell them. In a gentle way, I would say, "Yeah, that's not suited for you." I would actually say that. But it's like you can't tell people the truth anymore about anything.
No, you can't. And the problem is that, I mean, because, you can't be honest with people. You can't tell them that they're fat, overweight, their dress is too tight, that their arms too long, their eyes wonky, their ears don't match, whatever. You can't tell them anything because, they're a person. You go, okay, yeah, well, I get that. But there's also some things that you just don't do when you're a certain size. I mean, there was a woman on a plane the other day, and literally she was banging into and she had to turn sideways to go down the aisle. She was that big. And then there's the other video of the lady getting the baby out of the car, and she falls over and the baby's in a buggy going towards the road, and it's only because some guy actually stopped the baby from going in the road because she kept getting up and falling over. And people were going like, well, it's because she's fat. And that was the fact. She was too fat to go rescue her baby. And people were getting annoyed, saying, well, you can't fat shame her. Well, what if her baby hadn't been saved by that person and killed by a car? Would you have the same opinion of that woman because she couldn't get up and save her own baby because she was just overweight and gross? So yeah, we live in very strange times, just very strange times,
Yeah, there's a singer. She's black and she's very, very overweight, and I don't know who she is. I don't keep up with
Lizzo.
Yeah, and she wears the scantily clad clothing. That, even if you're 80 pounds, you might look good in it. But I'm talking about, it's like she's not embarrassed. I would be so, it was just like, no way would I wear that.
She's not. And I saw her the other day going, and there's a positive side. There's a positive message she's getting out to people, and I get it and I understand it, and I applaud it. But at the same time, you are what you are. And sometimes it is literally genetics that are deemed that way. I know people that are genetically, they're just going to be big because if you look at the mother or the father or both, they're almost identical looking to them, and they've got the same features and unfortunately the same body shape. That's something they can't do. They can't do anything about because even if they try to lose weight, they can't. And they also have health issues that stop them from doing any exercise. So I get it, but it's when it's just like literally flaunting and we have to accept it. It's like everything else in this world. We don't have to. You can make a decision not to accept whatever you want to, because just like they do. Just like everything else, just like the whole transgender thing. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't care.
I don't either. I could care less.
Don't keep ramming it down my throat or expect me to know your pronouns. Before I know you, because if I don't know you, then I'm going to look. We use our eyes to look, and that goes back to the photographs of Trump. What are they doing? They're using the eyes. Now, if you used your eyes on them and said something, and my pronouns, them, they, it, whatever, and you called it a she, then you're in trouble because you've used the wrong pronoun, but you didn't know the pronoun. So
I say enough of that. We're going to have to call it a day already. The show is over. So, Rick, thank you again so much for being on the show. I know that it's an exhausting trip, and I appreciate you spending time with me today.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Donna. Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another exciting guest. Again, Rick, thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day.
Thank you.